Welcome, I'm the DeadwoodJedi, and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. We're on the free-to-play, the Road to Ultra Nightmare. Yesterday was day 3, today is day 4. I typically have been recording these kind of in the morning, you know, kind of recapping the previous day. But this morning I got up really early, actually. I went to bed early and got up really early, and so I've kind of been grinding all night, and ooh, a lot of stuff happened. This is the best part about these early game accounts is there's so much progress that can be made early on, and so it's kind of always exciting until you start hitting some real bottleneck spots. But I've been grinding pretty intensely here, and I made a lot of progress on my account. I would say the most notable of which is that we are finally have completed Brutal Campaign. I have beaten the Brimstone Path. I have unlocked Nightmare. Not that I've even tried any of it as yet, but that's a really huge achievement to be able to get through that. It's really big. Obviously, the next step is going to be 3-starring everything along the way. I haven't even finished 3-starring normal. I think I did finish 3-starring normal. I was able to do that this morning. And I haven't really started on hard. I still have a lot to do there, and I definitely have a lot to do on brutal as well. And you know, doing that is great because you get, you know, I get 3 legendary tomes, which is a lot for completing brutal. I think I got 3 epics for completing normal. So like, there's a lot of stuff that's been good as far as like advancing my champions. Now, the next step, and really, I actually think this is more important than even finishing the campaign, is getting one champion that can solo farm one of these stages, and I do not have that yet. My Elhain is really strong, but not that strong as of yet, so I've had to pair her with somebody else. It's fine. I'm still leveling up several champions, so it's not a big deal yet, but at some point that is where I need to get to. I need to be able to have one champion be able to solo farm, and that's going to allow me to rank up more food faster, and that's kind of the biggest issue right now is the food. Actually, I suppose there's kind of a few problems early on that you run into really quickly. Obviously, silver's huge, right? I mean, you just never have enough. I happen to have some here because I finally realized, oh yeah, there's promo codes out there I should be using, so I started using some of the promo codes. I used the Raid Rousey Raid Rhonda promo code and got myself some silver, but typically I've had like none. That's one of the big problems. The other big problem is obviously chickens, right? I need food to level up these champions and rank them up. Now you can see I've got my Elhain up to rank 5. It's level 50. She's even mostly ascended at this point. She's crucial for me. She's my big damage dealer, and you know, I still have room to build her up a little bit more, hopefully to the point where I can actually solo farm even as a level 50 champion. I've got my Elva. I've started ranking her up. I put some gear on her. She's still not great right now, but she's definitely, you know, really strong. Like, it's such a game changer having a legendary champion that's good. I mean, just insane. Her healing is really strong. I just need to make her tough enough so she doesn't need the healing as much. That's going to be really big. I've got my Deacon. He's still at, you know, level 44 star. I need to rank him up to 5-star. He's my only champion with masteries right now, and honestly, at this moment, I'm almost regretting putting the masteries on Deacon. I kind of feel like maybe I should have put him on Elhain, but it doesn't really matter. The biggest thing is just I need to get him ranked up. And that jump from 3-star to 4-star, from 4-star to 5-star is so huge, so massive. And, you know, I was talking in a previous, I think my first recap video about, you know, different champions I might want to hold on to. And the reality is I can't hold on to anybody. Doesn't matter. I need to rank them up as fast as I possibly can, you know? And I just don't have, I have a fair amount of rares that I've been able to accumulate some food here, even with the commons. But what I really need to do is just rank them up as quickly as I can. And that's a challenge, right? It's just, that's just the reality of it. It's a challenge. I'm using my brews. I'm, you know, trying to farm with food as much as possible even as I was leveling up through the campaign, and as I'm going through the missions, but it's definitely a challenge. But yeah, I've got, you know, I do have Elhain in a lifesteal set. I have a frost set that's like halfway decent. I have on Elva, but you know, I need to get her faster and tankier, obviously. So she just needs to, and finish leveling up. That's going to help a lot. My shield set's on War Priest, otherwise she's kind of trash at this point, and she'll definitely end up being food for somebody. Whether I rank her up to 5-star so that I can rank somebody else to 6, or I just use her even though she's leveled up already, I'm not even sure. But Deacon's my next focus. Getting him up to 5 stars is going to be huge. I also was able to pull a Frostbringer who's so good. Like, so good early on. I really didn't realize, but she has got an increased speed and increased attack buff, which is really nice when it comes to arena. And she has an AoE decreased defense. It's a multi-hit decreased defense ability, but it's still helpful. Heal reduction doesn't hurt. So she's definitely like a champion I'm glad I pulled and I'm going to be able to utilize for a while in the early game here. She's not an end game level champion, but for the mid game, I think she can be really valuable. And so I'm actually really happy with that. She does kind of duplicate some of what Deacon does, and some of what Elva does, right? So she's not the best champion for my account, but she's not a bad pull at all. But right now I'm just ready to start, ranking up some food so I can get Deacon up to 5-star. That's my big main goal here. So I've got, 1 piece here in Outlaw Monk. I got 1 piece here in Ogre and Jailer. I'm starting to get some, 3-star or 3-star, food going here. And then I'll probably rank up Rocktooth for a 3rd one and, somebody else here for a 4th. And then once I get that, then I can rank up Deacon here, and I think that's going to be in a good spot. I still have Assassin going strong. He's, he's okay. He's not great, but, he's doing the work for me for where I need him, which is in Clan Boss. And in Clan Boss, we're doing okay. I've had 1 run today. I did normal, actually. Jumped up to normal, and I think we got, what did we get? Oh, no, did I do easy? I did easy. Did I do easy? Did I not do anything today? Did I do hard? Did I do Ultra Nightmare? Maybe I didn't do anything yet today. Oh, I thought I had a run in already. Oh, here we are. DWJ free to play. There you go. Yes, on normal, almost 1 million damage. So that's a pretty good 1 key of temp there. The top chest is 3.5 million or so. So, with my 4 keys for the day, I should be able to get the top chest, which I'm hoping for, in normal. And I think that would be a really good advancement of my account. Obviously, it'd be nice to get it even higher. If I can rank up Deacon, that'll do a lot of work for me. Leveling up Elva and leveling up Frostbringer will help a lot. Making sure they can survive just a little bit longer just through their natural stat bonuses is going to be really big and helpful. Also, gear's been really helpful. One of the big things is that Forge. The Forge has been huge for me, and 100% you guys should be doing that. The quality of the pieces I get from the Forge is just insane compared to everything else. Because the rest of the stuff I get is pretty trash, to be honest. But look at I got some Swift Parry boots with speed on it. I got an accuracy chest in Swift Parry. Am I going to use this somewhere? For sure, because they're my best pieces by far. I've got most of my perception and resilience gear is already on champions, and that's just game changing, right? It's just such a difference, 1 little piece or something like that. Because right now, most of what I'm farming, I'm running out of energy a lot, so it's hard for me to actually accumulate enough gear to rank up and level up and be picky about what am I gonna choose, which pieces do I want to keep. I have to keep what I get, and a lot of the stuff I'm getting, especially from campaign, is 4-star. What I'm getting from dungeons is 4-star. So when you get those 5-star pieces, it's huge. And when you can forge it, and they're all rare or epic pieces, it becomes a lot better as well. I am able to farm the dungeons at a decent clip, so I could get, the same kind of quality pieces here too, right? So I can farm stage 9, which means I can get 3 to 5-star pieces, right? So that's definitely decent, but half of those I'm throwing away. I guess the same as with the Forge, right? But I could be farming Dragon. That is one thing I can do, but again, I'm trying to stay a little bit focused on the dungeon. So right now I'm going through the potion keeps. That's kind of the next thing I have to do here. Then a little bit of Minotaur. And then once I get that, then we're gonna, they kind of take me through the different dungeons and stuff. I am kind of excited to get here. I really want to rank up, or ascend, I should say, Deacon, because Deacon's abilities are locked behind that Ascension, and that's really problematic. Mainly this extra turn here on the A3 is locked behind that, and that's such a difference maker, right? I mean, it's basically getting a free cooldown on a skill ability. Not to mention, then there's no turns where he doesn't have an attack ability, and I think that's going to be huge for me. When I can do that, I have a feeling I'll be able to probably duo farm the highest stages in Brutal, and then hopefully that I can continue to grow, and I eventually like solo farm a lot of this stuff. But this is going to be massive for me. It's going to be really big in arena where I can use him as a true speed lead, get the boost and debuff the enemy, which would be massive for my success there, because it's been a little bit mixed right now. We're still stuck in silver. I got all the way up to silver 3, actually almost into gold, almost into silver 4, as a matter of fact, but I kind of got hard capped there. I really just couldn't. The teams that were facing a lot of legendaries, a lot of people that were ranked up, ascended up, and it got to be pretty hard. Even picking and choosing my fights, I wasn't able to have the kind of success that I was hoping for. And part of that is just, you know, my team, my gear, where it's at right now. I'm not in a position to, you know, have the best result out here, right? I don't have multiple damage dealers on my account, period. Not to mention on my team. So I wasn't able to like pick and choose, okay, I'm going to fight this guy here or that guy there. You know, and I definitely don't have the gear to like finally speed tune my team, because what I'd love to do is have Deacon go into Frostbringer so I get the increased attack buff that'll go into you know, my Elhain so she can nuke the enemy. That would be ideal, right? You know, even if it's Deacon decreased defense, I just have him fast enough to go first, and then, you know, Frostbringer into Elhain. That would be ideal, but I don't have that kind of gear right now. I got 2 decently sped champs, and that's about it. And so it's a little bit limiting right now. Actually, as you can see, like Elhain's what, 168 speed, pretty decent speed, almost 1700 attack, which is decent. I'd like to get that higher. We do have 99% crit rate, which is good. So I know she's critting. She's been hitting really hard for me, and that's a really good place to be at. Deacon, I do have just slightly faster. I did have to move some gear around to get that to happen. Almost 1,000 defense, which is pretty nice. Stay alive there with that. But that's about it. You know, getting his accuracy up is a real challenge too. There's so many nuances to this stupid game, guys, which is why it's so fun, but also why it can be really overwhelming as a newer player. You know, if you are a newer player, the biggest thing is get that speed up. Right now, my Elhain, excuse me, my Elhain at 170 speed, or almost there, is fast enough to take multiple turns versus the enemy on a lot of these stages. Not all of them, but on a lot of them. And that's a big help, being able to get multiple hits in, right? So getting that speed up is really, really vital. Getting her attack and damage up with the crit rate is really good too. You know, and for champions that are debuffing, getting enough accuracy on there so they land it consistently is really, really nice. It doesn't take a lot on these early stages, right? But getting a set in there of perception or a set of accuracy can make all the difference in the world, so you don't have to worry about the substats that are so hit and miss at this early part of the game. Hey, just a friendly reminder, if you haven't already, take a moment and hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you don't miss the next one of these videos that comes out. And of course, if you guys need help with your account, you can go to my website, DeadwoodJedi.com, where I'll be happy to look at your squad and make whatever improvements are needed to be made. But, you know, when I'm doing that, I still want to play my own account. That's why I use BlueStacks, which you'll find linked down below in the pinned comment and description of this video. BlueStacks is a great way to run multiple instances of the game on your computer at the same time. And if you enjoyed today's music, we have that Soundstripe link down below in the pinned comment and description of this video as well. Use code DeadwoodJedi, save 15%. So that's where we're at right now. I'm pretty excited. Like, to get through Brutal Campaign in, what, 3 days, 4 days is pretty crazy compared to when I first played this game. I must have been in the game a month before I got through it when I first went through. You know, I was just kind of playing when I felt like it. And it's just such a difference, you know. The hardest part is actually the discipline of which champions am I using for food, which ones am I leveling up, and how, you know. That is the biggest challenge. Actually, it was interesting. I got really lucky. I got a Rocktooth who has a skill. I should go to my champion vault so I can show this properly. I have a Rocktooth who has a skill of heal reduction, and I have an Ogre and Jailer who has an ability to steal buffs. And it actually proved really helpful because one of the missions, I think one of the challenges for the dungeons was to clear those, you know, magic keep and steal a buff, and then clear spirit keep and put heal reduction on the boss, all in the same, you know, thing. And so I was able to do that, which was, you know, like I said, it's challenging. That's not something to be expected to be done. You know, early on, you don't have access to every champion, so you have to wait for that RNG part to work for you Thankfully, I had those champions. I didn't even have to level them up all the way, and I was able to do that. But now they are also on the way to being leveled up, so I can use them to rank up my other champions for food. So it kind of worked out really nicely with that. And so that's my account right now. That's where we're at right now. I do have a couple shards here. I was tempted, you know, we just went through a 2x. It's going to be another 6 weeks. The smart thing is to hold on to these shards, but the thing is, so early on in this game, man, getting the right champion at the right time can be absolutely game-changing. Now, I'm not going to pull my voids. Those are pretty valuable. I do want to wait for a 2x for that. I pulled my first one that I got, and I realized in hindsight that was a mistake. So I'm going to hold on to that. I'll hold on to my sacreds, but I think I'm going to go ahead and pull 3 ancients because I got them here, and I got you guys with me. So let's see if we can get anything really lucky. I don't imagine that we will, but let's try. Fury Stroker, absolutely useless. Not a great champion, so not worth building. Who else we got? Oh, see, now Coffin Smasher is somebody worth building. He's got a decreased attack on the A1. He's got an HP burn on the A2 and a nice little passive ability that decreases AoE damage for the team. That's a pretty good pull right there. Wow. Okay. You know what? I'm pretty happy with that. He's not an epic, but he's one of the best rare champions for clan boss. I think I've highlighted in a video or two in the past. He's really, really good for this. So that's a pretty clutch pull. I'm gonna have to start building him up. Like he's staying on the team. I don't see any way around that. And then we got Bogwalker. Oh wow. Now I might have to keep Bogwalker. I don't know. So this is why Bogwalker's a really good champion. He also has a decreased attack on the A1. When you book him, it's a 50% chance, which is pretty good. His A2 increased defense for everybody with an attack. That's pretty nice, right? A3 reflect damage on all allies when he's hit with a crit. You know, if I can put him more towards the front of the team, that'll reflect everybody back. That's not so really helpful. It's just a passive ability, and that could be problematic if you're trying to like properly speed to him. But in these early games, it's really just throwing out your best champions and hoping for the best. Bringing in a poisoner is pretty clutch. But other than that, he's not a bad choice, right? Decreased attack is so massive. Increased defense can be really, really helpful as well. So that's two. Bogwalker might be a good choice. Wow, Coffin Smasher and Bogwalker. I have so many options. Which one do I choose? But what's going to end up probably happening is I'll probably level both up to 30. I need to level them up anyway so they can become future food. And then I will just kind of see which one I feel like keeping and using. I would say that between the two of them, I would say Coffin Smasher is the better of the two. But that increased defense buff, right now I don't have anybody on my account that can do that. That might be a really valuable thing to bring in. In truth, I'm gonna go with Coffin Smasher. He's better. He's really good. HP burn is really effective, just like poison's really effective early on because you just aren't going to deal a lot of raw damage. HP burn is going to be hugely effective for us in dealing damage to the clan boss. So that's actually a huge pull there. Oh, this is great. No, this is great. This video turned out better than I could have imagined. You know, we're still progressing. We're still going through stuff. I've actually completed every event that we've had so far, and like maxed them out. So that's been really good. I think at this point, really, I need to start leveling more food, level these champions up, start ranking them up. That's really the big goal. I know somebody in this group has already gotten a tier 6, a rank 6 champion already. So I feel a little bit behind the 8 ball. You know, getting somebody up to rank 6 is a massive boost to your team. So I definitely want to get to that point. We're not there yet, but that is 100% the goal involved here. So at this point, I need to start, you know, really ranking up food. I'm gonna need five-star champions to do that. So I got a long way to go. I still want to get Deacon to 5. Now I gotta get Coffin Smasher to 5. You know, with Elhain, with Elva, and I'm assuming, I think with Assassin, you know, and I got Frostbringer too. So we've got a few options as far as champions we're gonna try and hold on to. And that's actually more problematic than it is advantageous at this point because, you know, I need to keep progressing. I need more food. You know, maybe I don't know if how many of these are actually long-term type of keeps, right? So it's gonna be interesting. We'll see where we'll get to. You know, I got a lot of champions. It's funny as I play this game and go, oh, there's so many champions that are, you know, good in this scenario or that scenario. But it really depends on who else you have, right? Like I was talking, I think in my first day, War Priest is a really good champ, like not a really good champion, but she provides an essential role of healing up your team. Well, now I have Elva. I don't need War Priest. Like I just don't need her at all. So she became completely redundant and expendable for my account. But I wouldn't have thought that, until we got to this point, until I pulled somebody else. And, that's just kind of how that goes, right? Like, it's just kind of it's a little bit of a wild trip, right? Like, Outlaw Monk is a very solid poisoner for Clan Boss. I got an Assassin. He's pretty decent, too. I don't know that I need Outlaw Monk. But when I get a better poisoner than Assassin, well, then I don't need Assassin, right? So that's kind of the interesting kind of evolution of how this is going to work going forward. So I'm excited to see where we end up getting to with this. It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm excited for it. This is definitely a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys are having fun as well. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and watching. If you guys are running your own accounts, don't forget to check out that BlueStacks link down below. It's the best way to kind of have multiple accounts running at the same time. I really do encourage you to download that. Even if you're not sure you're going to want to use a free-to-play right now, it becomes a really helpful thing. I actually am able to play a lot of different phone games. A lot of times when I do those promos for other games, I'm actually running them on BlueStacks on my computer, and it becomes an easy way to play multiple games on my PC, right, where everything's in front of me, so I don't have to be looking down at my phone to be running something else. And that's, for me, that's pretty enjoyable. If you like phone games and you're on your computer a lot, it's a smart way to go. Anyway, that's all we got for today. So thanks so much for sticking around. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.